What is going on with Jim Harbaugh right now? What are you hearing back in Ann Arbor? There's a conversation about an indemnity clause that's holding up a possibility of him.
I don't know if it's holding up a possibility. Like when I first heard that, my thought was some of these things seem so far-fetched that it would be like, okay, we're going to put this out there that when we do move to the NFL, we're like, hey, they were not all in on. And
but I don't understand why that would be necessary, because I don't know a single Michigan Wolverine fan that would say when Jim Harbaugh steps to a podium, if he does, in Los Angeles for the Chargers or Atlanta for the Falcons, where he's already interviewed, or wherever, would go, how dare he do that? Mm-hmm. I don't know of a single one. So why would that be a track covering situation that leads me to believe that this is legit? Like he does want to go back to Michigan and something. It doesn't seem like this is a straw man of a clause situation.
Jim Harbaugh has always been wildly unpredictable.
Right.
And, you hear rumblings of people there. I think it's cautiously optimistic saying, oh, Jim wants to come back. Mm-hmm. Jim is absolutely kicking the tires on the NFL right now,
That's
whether
no
it's
doubt.
the Chargers or the Falcons or, whoever, how many other.
If the Cowboys pop free, right? I mean,
does he want to be there? I mean, I think the questions are going to be, is this something that's going to wrap up anytime soon? Like, is it going to be something that's going to, it's not like if it's a college thing, it's like, hey, we got to hire somebody who can't have an open job because the transfer portal, we're going to lose players.
Yeah.
This is the NFL. It's like a different calendar altogether. So I think if you're Michigan, you just got to be patient with it and know, hey, if he does leave, we got Sharon Moore, who's beaten Ohio State, won at Penn State. The players revere him. The people around inside the program revere him. And that would be a really good backup plan.
What is the clause about? What are you hearing? I mean, what is this? He wants full indemnity if something pops up with the NCAA?
Yeah, and I think the tricky part on that to me is that with the NCAA, you are accountable if you're the head coach for people under you. The staff is 50 people, so if there is something there. Now, last week, Florida State had something where their offensive coordinator, and this is portal related, got hit pretty hard. And it was like, wait a minute, this isn't exactly how the NCAA language usually goes towards the head coach. It was like really more the offensive coordinator got dinged for something, which I think a lot of people felt like was the NCAA was trying to make an example of him and them. So there's so many eyeballs on the illegal signal stealing investigation. By the same token, Jim Harbaugh served a big suspension, like 3 games.
I think so.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a backloaded schedule. It wasn't like he did not get hit hard by the Big Ten. So who knows what is going to come from that? And it's hard to unwind at this point. I just think that, he's going to sit here and look and say, okay, what's my best option here? Do I really want to be back in the NFL? And do I think I can lead this team to a Super Bowl? Can I lead this franchise to a Super Bowl? I ultimately think that's where he's going to end up.
You do?
Yeah, I do. Just because it's not like they lost to Washington. He won the national title.
Can you say that again? It was just so great that you just, I'm okay, sorry. Yes. But I understand what you're saying, but I also understand that if he does go back, I mean, Saban's gone, right?
Yeah.
He has an opportunity if he wants to spend the next 10 years, his final 10 years coaching, if he does want to coach till he's 70. He could wind up like Bo, you know what I mean? But Bo didn't win a national championship.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, what I'm saying is not, he could be as revered on campus or
who is the greatest football coach in the history of Michigan?
You mean in the history? I obviously it's both. I mean, it's Schembechler Hall, and there's Fielding Yost. You want to go way back here? Honestly, like he can be viewed as the current best college coach there is because he's one right now. Saban's gone.
Kirby Smart has got 2. Yeah. So, but
he's
just
put himself in that mix,
Michigan,
and honestly, if you want to continue saying, the number of Georgia Bulldog fans that I know in my life, who were people who would know Georgia Bulldog fans in my life who have been very, I think, respectful of my feelings of excitement that they all do want to say, well, there is the best team in college football that won the last two that somehow got, jobbed out of not getting into the Final Four. Like, good luck beating us. Good luck beating us. We lost to Alabama. Those things happen. So you can have these arguments about there's still things to do at Michigan. And I understand, though, that if he feels that the NCAA is out to get him and that there may be a particular individual from Michigan's past that sits on an infractions committee that has something out to get him for, that he wants some form of a codified protection in a plan if he does come back.
I don't think that's happening, though. I don't know how they do that carve out. Again, the people I talked to who are closest to Jim Harbaugh, and this is going back a month or so, said the biggest thing burning in him would be a Super Bowl. And you can't get that in Ann Arbor anymore. You just, it's like he has to go to the NFL. He's going to do it. He came really close before. Again, I wouldn't be shocked if he stayed, but I'd be really surprised. Now, it'd be different if they didn't win the national title last year, if they came close and they lost to Washington. But he's won it. You are going out on top. You dominated the Big Ten. You beat Ohio State 3 times in a row. I don't think there's no bigger way for him to leave if you're going to go to the NFL.
That's true.
I feel like he said a couple of years ago when the Vikings thing did not work out on signing day, I'm done looking or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he interviewed last year and was in the mix for the Broncos.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.